Episode 7. Emotionally Wounded. What did I do? Upon seeing Butler Wills seethe with rage, Xavier was speechless. Wasn't this misunderstanding getting a little bit out of hand? However, he empathized with Butler Wills's confusion and anger. After all, without guiding her cultivation, he was able to make their young mistress willingly acknowledge him as her master. What's more, she even blushed upon bringing up the subject, and the record crystal had been shattered. For an outsider, it certainly appeared like an act of destroying evidence. Xavier was instantly labeled by the butler as weird, sex-crazed, and shameless. Sarah's face darkened as she exclaimed, "Butler Wills, what are you thinking? If you are going to continue behaving like this, I will never speak to you again." After all, she was a young woman. This kind of rumor would ruin her reputation. Interrupted by Sarah, Butler Wills could only withdraw his aura. "Young mistress." "All right, follow me to collect my bedding. Don't hold me up here. I still have lessons tomorrow." Sarah harumphed and walked out of the room. She was unwilling to talk about the changes going on in her body. If she were to reveal it to him, he would definitely pressure her to talk about it. Under this kind of situation, how could she possibly talk about it? Thus, unable to come up with any other excuses, her only option was to have acknowledged Xavier as her teacher. After seeing the young mistress turn around to leave the room, Butler Wills glanced at Xavier coldly with a glint in his eye, as if he was contemplating something. Then, with a fling of his arm, he turned around and walked out. The intention to kill Xavier lingered in his mind. If they weren't in the academy, and had the young mistress not stopped him, he would have made his move. Looking at Butler's cold gaze, Xavier felt perplexed. All I did was accept a student. I did nothing wrong at all. He's making it seem as though I am an unpardonable criminal who is the source of all evil in this world, he thought to himself. Forget it. There is still time left today. Let's see if I can recruit a few more students. The more students in my class, the more resources I will receive. There were many different levels to the teachers of Anglewood Academy. Every year, an assessment of the teachers would be conducted based on the conditions of their students, the number of students they have, the pace of their improvement, their results in all kinds of competition. The teachers were reliant on these conditions to be promoted. The resources a teacher would get would increase exponentially with the higher their level. Naturally, the same went for the resources their students would receive as well. This was probably what it meant by the teacher and the students advancing as one. Right then, he had only accepted 3 students. He might be able to retain his position as a teacher, but if one were to talk about qualifications, he was still the last in the entire school. In order for him to advance, his only option was to continue recruiting more students. Walking along the pavement of the academy, 2 freshman students, Seth Klein and Noel Wade, were discussing their search for a teacher. "Seth, don't be too disappointed," Noel consoled him. "Teacher Nicholas was the only one who rejected you. Don't be so depressed." "Noel, you were accepted. Of course, you don't feel anything saying those words. How about you try getting rejected?" Seth frowned, unhappy at his friend's words of consolation. "Don't say that. There are still a lot of excellent teachers in the academy. There's no need for you to choose Teacher Nicholas out of them all." Seth scratched his head in embarrassment. "There's no need to choose him? That's easy for you to say. Since we were young, we have been training in the way of the spear, and the spear has already become a part of our body. It is something we are unable to discard anymore. The best teacher in the art of the spear in Anglewood Academy is Teacher Nicholas. Now that you were accepted by him while I was rejected, is it possible for me to not be upset?" Noel wasn't sure how to respond. In Anglewood Academy, different teachers have different specializations. Some specialized in fists, while others specialized in sabers. Teacher Nicholas Baldwin was well known for his capability in imparting the way of the spear. He was considered one of the better teachers in the entire academy. Both Seth and Noel joined the examinations together in hopes of becoming his disciples. However, one of them passed, while the other one failed. Naturally, the one who failed felt gloomy. Unsure about how he should resolve this awkward situation, Noel suddenly saw a classroom not too far away and pointed towards it. There is a classroom over there. How about we take a look? I'm not going. Seth shook his head. Let's go and take a look. What if this teacher is also skilled in imparting the way of the spear as well? Noel responded. Anyway, you have nothing to lose just by visiting it. All right. Although he was unwilling, Seth still followed Noel into the room. The person inside the room was Xavier. He was just about to go outside to recruit some fresh blood when he saw 2 students walking in. Nice to meet you, teacher. Noel bowed. Xavier widened his eyes slightly. Are you here to look for a teacher? Yes, this is my friend. He is extremely formidable, especially with his spear. In the younger generation, there are few who can compete against him. I hope that a teacher can guide him. Noel said hurriedly. Noel? Seth pulled the sleeves of his good friend. What is it? Noel asked in confusion. Look at the surroundings. Seth frowned. This classroom was extremely narrow. From the looks of it, it could only fit 10 people or so. This was bothersome, as the size of the classroom was representative of the capability of the teacher. The teachers who were ranked in the top few had classrooms the size of a field, allowing more than hundreds of students to cultivate and train at the same time. In comparison, this classroom was the size of a bedroom. Judging by this, the teacher of this classroom was probably only of average standard. Noel also noticed the size of the room, and his heart began thumping in his chest from disappointment. It is indeed quite small. Initially, he wanted to help soothe the stifled emotions in his best friend's heart. Yet, unknowingly, they entered a classroom of a mediocre teacher. If the teacher's standard was really subpar, not only would the stifled emotions not disappear, they might even weigh heavier on his heart. Seemingly oblivious to the secret conversation taking place between the two, Xavier said calmly, Demonstrate your ability with the spear. Seeing the look of hesitation on Seth's face, Noel persuaded him. Since we came here, we might as well have this teacher guide you for a bit, since there's nothing to lose. If his standard is really bad, we can just refuse to acknowledge him and leave. You're right. Seth nodded his head. Other than some exceptionally popular teachers that the majority of the students set their eyes on, when most teachers chose their own students, their students were allowed to examine the capabilities of the teachers as well. After thinking it through, Seth retrieved the spear from his back and fixed the multiple parts together. Spears are longer than the average human height, thus they are stored in parts. With the long spear in his hands, Seth's expression changed instantly, just like the intimidating glint of the sharp edge of an unsheathed blade. The long spear stabbed forward, and a sonic wave boomed. The entire room sounded as though it was being torn apart, and a strong gust of wind whipped up in the surroundings. Experts were identifiable the moment they made a move. Although he might not be considered very strong, his prowess with the spear was indeed not quite bad. The tip of his spear trembled and struck the rock pillar not too far away. A light reverberation lingered in the air, and numbers appeared on the pillar. 242. To think it would be more than 220 pounds. Just by the destructive prowess itself, even a first-level class Yieldling Realm Pinnacle fighter would be unable to take the blow. "Teacher, please offer me some pointers." With his spear held vertically beside him, Seth stood upright without a hint of nervousness or tiredness as he looked at Xavier impassively. Truthfully, just by the size of the classroom, he didn't hold high expectations for this teacher. He thought that his standard would, at most, be average. As though proving his point, the teacher before him squinted his eyes. It was difficult to fathom what he might be thinking. His eyes slowly widened with a faint hint of a smile on his lips. "You are emotionally wounded? That is, you have been dumped before."